He gave them his laws. He gave them his observances. And he didn't do it to make a trap for them so that he could prove they're horrible and he's so righteous, because he doesn't have to prove nothing. But we like to justify. Oh, God's just, he's not trustworthy is what they're saying. Oh, I can't trust him to be a holy God. I can't trust him to be a righteous God. I can't trust him to be a just God. Well, that's not true. He gave them everything they needed to have a relationship with him. And they didn't want it. They made every excuse possible to not have that relationship and blamed him for it. They were too tough, we couldn't follow them. It was too much. Well, they even wanted to blame God for the king they got.
I love that. She dropped something. You must have been blaming God for the king we got.
Well, we get an amazing opportunity because we can look at this book and we can read it and we can, substitute the name Israel for America, Judah for America, and pretty soon you start realizing you are reading our history. We're a people who said, oh, we are under his name, and we've thrown it all out. We don't want God's name on anything. We don't want to, anything that looks like God, Jesus, or prayer. Well, how long before God gets tired of us? How long before he gets to the point where he is so angry at us? One of the things that Yahweh was very angry at them for was spilling the blood of children. He said that his whole cities were covered in blood. And that's pretty serious. That's a lot of blood. But how many times do we flick off the news if it gets too gruesome? Something bad happens. Oh yeah, we're looking and knowing that something's bad happened on the side of the road at the freeway. But, have we gotten a little hard and callous about the blood that's shed? Did we forget the part where God called it holy? Where he called that blood sacred? I mean, one of the things that I read in Ezekiel that made me stop and think was that in chapter 37, it's the vision about the dry bones. And there's a place where Ezekiel cries out, are you going to kill them all? I mean, this is God's people under his holy name. Are you going to kill them all? So here he is in this valley of dry bones. But here's the living God, the creator, and he gets to see God remake man out of dry, brittle, old bones. If God could create it to begin with, he can restore it. There's nobody that can cover the sin, but Jesus, of all the blood that runs the streets. And the thing is, they were sent into exile, and they couldn't come back until all the bones were buried, till the land was healed. He cared enough about his people to restore the land to sacred. Do we even care about the land we walk on? Well, we need to, because God cared about the land that his people walked on. which is, that's pretty great. He cares about the land. It's his, and he prepared it for his people. He prepared it before he even brought them out of Egypt, and he prepared it before he brought the exiles back.
Christy, where are we about the land?
About the land? Oh, well,
Verse 22. 37:22. Verse 21.
21.
To their own soul.
To their own soil. But there is a point where it talks about him cleaning the land. Israel, 28.
I will resettle them and I will make them grow. I will set my sanctuary among them forever.
Okay, yeah, that's 26. Okay. Anyway, I get sidetracked, sorry. But, it's in chapter 39 about the cleansed land, 14 and 16. Men will be selected to go continually up and down the country to bury those left on the ground and cleanse it. For 7 months they will go searching. If one of them sees any human bones as they go up and down the country, he will put a mark beside them until the grave diggers have buried them. In the valley of Hamon-Gog, the name of the town is to be Hamanah. So have cleansed the country. And then after that, it talks about God forcing the wild animals back out and for the land to become livable. They made it unlivable, and God fixed it. So what I can say is even if we are where we are in our country and what we do, we are not at a hopeless point because we have a living God who cares about cleansing the land too, cleansing the people. Most of all, he wants us to have a relationship with him. There is a point in this book where he talks about the glory of God coming out of the temple and off the city, and getting to see that. And I think about that psalm in David where he talks about, take not your Holy Spirit from me. Well, he didn't want the glory to leave. But God had to go with them. But they had defiled everything so bad. He divorced this people. He divorced them. He said, you have done so rotten, you're such whores. I mean, throughout the Old Testament, he calls his people whores. And in the Levitical laws, hey, Jefferson, what does it say about a woman that a man divorces?